بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق أجمعين محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
The subject of fiqh, and we discussed inshallah today Taqleed, or following a Mujtahid. It is the first chapter in fiqh studied, and it's good to know an introduction about Taqleed before we go to the issues of the marja or the fatwa of the marja about Taqleed. Taqleed is from the word, Arabic word qallada. Qallada literally has two meanings, because it is good to know the literal meaning of Taqleed so that we understand its meaning in fiqh, in jurisprudence. One of the literal meanings of Taqleed is to put on the neck, like a necklace you put on the neck, or like a badge of honor you put on the neck. That is called qallada, means he has put on his neck. According to this meaning, when we follow a Mujtahid, actually we are putting our deeds and our practices on his neck, like we say on his shoulder, because he is responsible in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is a Mujtahid and he told us this is right, that is wrong. So we followed, and we are putting our a'mal on his shoulder, on his neck, because he is a Mujtahid, the specialized one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the day of judgment, if he asks us why you practice in this way, I say because this Mujtahid told me this way. So here, one of the meaning, as we said, is to put on the neck. The second one of Taqleed, qallada, means to follow or to imitate. When you follow somebody, say qalladahu, he did the same as that person is doing. So that is another literal meaning of Taqleed. According to this meaning, actually we are putting our steps in the same footsteps of the marja. Whatever marja will say, we will follow accordingly, because he is specialized, we are not, and we are following him step by step. So this is the literal meaning of Taqleed. We come to meaning of Taqleed as a term. Actually it means following of the non-specialized person to the specialized person. Means following of the Mujtahid by the public. Taqleed, we follow a Mujtahid, means we are not specialized in subject of Islamic jurisprudence. So the only way is to follow those who are specialized. That is Taqleed. We are not talking on a language, we are talking specifically on Islamic jurisprudence. So Taqleed in Islamic jurisprudence, that every adult human being with certain conditions, it will come details, has either he is specialized, so he is a Mujtahid, or then he has to follow the Mujtahid. So that is, as a term, means following the Mujtahid, the specialized people. There is another definition that is more definition in Islamic jurisprudence, in fiqh. When we read the Risala of the marja, the books of verdicts, of fatwa of the marja, you see they give either one of these two definitions. And these two definitions are very important to know them, because there are other issues which will depend on them, The first definition, they said, it is decision to bind oneself to follow a known Mujtahid. So Taqleed means what? Is it a practicing or only an intention? Which one? Here he says not to practice. only a decision, your intention. You have taken a clear decision, and that decision is binding to you. You bound yourself that you will follow this Mujtahid because it was proved for you that he is the senior most, and it is your religious duty to follow the senior most Mujtahid. So from today you decided to follow this Mujtahid. When you have decided and you bind yourself to follow him, it means you are doing Taqleed of him. You have started the process of Taqleed. Though you may not have practiced any single issue according to this Mujtahid. No practice, not yet. You have not started to pray according to his fatwa, or to fast according to his fatwa, or to perform your wudu and taharat and najasat, other issues according to his fatwa. No. But the only thing you have decided yourself, it is binding to you, that you are following this Mujtahid. So this is sufficient to say that you have done Taqleed. Now, according to other ulama, they said, no, Taqleed is to practice according to fatwa, to verdict of a Mujtahid. So it is the process of practicing. If you took the, let us say, the book of fatwa of the Mujtahid, and you practiced your wudu according to what he says, means you have done Taqleed of him. If your prayer was according to his fatwa, means you have done his Taqleed on prayer only. If Ramadan month comes and your fasting was according to his verdict, then you did Taqleed of him in fasting. But let us say in issues like Hajj, for example, because you have not gone for Hajj, you have not done his Taqleed, because you have not practiced yet. According to the first definition, that it is only a decision from your side to follow, then when you decided, you did Taqleed of him in all issues, from the first to the last. All the 4,000-5,000 issues, you have done Taqleed when you decide to bind yourself to his fatwa. But according to second definition, it is the practice according to the fatwa of the Mujtahid. Now, whatever issue you practice, then you have done Taqleed. Whatever issue you have not practiced, because you don't need it, or it is not the time, for whatever reason, you have not done Taqleed of that. Of course, this is important for another issue. If your marja' dies, and you do Taqleed of another living marja', and then he said, you can remain on Taqleed of the dead on what conditions? What you have practiced, what you have not practiced, what Taqleed has done or was not done. There, its importance will come. Importance of this definition will come. Because we are going to discuss it, inshallah, when we read the Risala. But today, just we point out to it as a definition, So it is important to know that in fiqh, there are two main definitions for Taqleed. One is the decision to bind yourself to follow a Mujtahid. The second one is to practice according to the verdict of a Mujtahid. These are usually two main definitions. Now we come to another point that nowadays is raised a lot. Of course, we might not need to discuss it, but because nowadays there is a query and doubt about it, you see many people say, why should we do